Hello everyone, I'm Bill. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be the first Star Wars recap for a game that happened about 2 weeks ago. This is not the first Star Wars recap, so go back and look for in the Sunday campaigns and you should see it. I'm going to start a playlist that's just going to be Star Wars this week at some point and just pull those videos and put them into their own list and leave them still sitting in the Sunday because that's the day we played. So without further ado, I'm going to be reading from the text so I don't forget any of the notes that I made on what happened. And hopefully I'll be interacting with you guys, but if not, just bear with me. This might be a little bit more boring. I hope not, but if you're interested in what's happening in the campaign, here you go. So we started after success of our first bounty hunt. We got a message with a possible delivery of our friend, and one of our players created a second character, so he was transporting our friend here. He created a Mandalorian soldier class out of the D20 version of Star Wars, and then our friend was the Doug. He missed the game session before, and he was last at the Jedi Temple trying to learn to become a Padawan, which was hilarious because the way he plays his character, he is least likely to be a Jedi. And the message told us it'd take about a week. We used this time to shop. After regaining the missing party member, we take on one more bounty mission here at that planet to hunt C3PX, and the bounty was worth 250,000 credits. Now you know why we're enticed to do so. After a bunch of information gathering mishaps, we rolled poorly a whole lot. It was hilarious. The party heads to last known sighting, which was at a Hutt's location. So we go there, we sneak our way in using the Force and convincing people to let us in. And then while there, he's having a party. And it's more of a business party, but we didn't know that. We didn't gather enough information about the Hutt to know what was going on. So my Padawan's running around and we're just making fun of the comedy. We have him, he's running around just staring at all the girls, and we say every time we look, we find his head buried in the boobs. In addition to that, one of the characters is drinking heavily, and then I have a drink that I'm sipping on but mostly carrying. At this point, after enough people have entered the party, we look around, we see what the Hutt's guards are, and the Hutt's guards are a bunch of Mandalorians in decent Mandalorian armor. So we are at a disadvantage if we want to cause a ruckus. That's understandable. He would definitely want to be well protected. He has a protocol droid that looks similar to C3PX. So we're sitting there confused the whole time because we're thinking that might be the droid we're after. After a little bit, they start bringing out slaves and auction material onto the stage. And people are betting. We chose not to purchase anything, which in hindsight might have been a slight mistake. And then from there, we hung out after the whole auction was over. And then the Hutt pretty much sort of holds us for ransom as we try to negotiate with the Hutt. He gives us the information we need on C3PX. He's making a delivery to him and we can make the delivery. He'll give us a bunch of useless parts to give him, where he's supposed to get like big nuclear warheads. And then we will get his location and the ability to make the delivery, and the Hutt will make a profit on the material he's not giving out. in addition to that, we paid the Hutt like 20,000 credits for A, the information, and B, the chance for this. So he made a decent amount of money. We end up not having to worry about hurting ourselves in a fight with the Hutt. So from there, we go to the meetup spot. At the meetup spot, he arrives with a transport. He's already there. Sorry, he is already there with a transport. He has 2 droids with him. They are assassin droids. And we start to notice as we're looking around that those of us that can see the Force see a void of Force around him. The Wookiee, our pilot, decides to make the delivery to the guy. Like, he's actually transporting goods over to the hookup to his transporter. While he's doing that, I'm talking with the guy doing the data pad thing, exchanging the funds and transfer and whatnot. After that, he begins to walk away. The Wookiee's there hooking up. He throws either a thermal grenade or a regular grenade and blows up part of the transport. And that starts the combat. Now, the unfortunate thing is my character rolled crap for initiative and surprise. So I'm pretty much caught flat-footed from the explosion, and I'm not allowed to really do much. The anti-force field that the droid has on him is far enough away that I can actually use the Force, but at that point, I am useless until the second round of combat. And even then, I'm not that useful in this combat, which was very interesting to me. Wasn't upset over it at all, just upset over the caught surprised. But it's the dice. What can you do? So, combat breaks out. They start firing at a couple of the droids we see. We destroy those quickly. The C-3PX takes a decent amount of damage first turn. And then there's more firepower coming from C-3PX's area. He had 2 cloaked assassin droids with him. He is known for setting up ambushes, is the information we got originally, so I am not surprised. I was surprised in this, but not surprised that he had these. So we make quick use of a little bit of force and a lot of firepower, and then C-3PX self-detonates, which almost kills at least half the party, including me, because I was close enough to the detonation to take a decent amount of damage. After that, we collect our bounty on him, and then we spend more of it. The Hutt is happy with us, so we will now have at least a positive dealing with that Hutt. We have his name, or if we don't have his name, we need to add his name to a couple of people we have positive dealings with. So that way we have access to some black market contacts that we can get a hold of and exchange information with. Because no one said we had to be the good guys in this Star Wars game. And it's going to be fun to see where it goes. Okay, after that we head to the Sith homeworld. We land by a Sith temple, and my character and the Doug, who's the Force, he's a Force adept with 2 weapon fighting. He is a very cool character. We decide we're going to be the ones to sneak into the Sith Academy and start the mission that's in the tomb area, the valley. The other party decides they're going to fulfill the second part of the mission without talking to us, which was fine, very fine. They want to upload the encryption into an assassin droid that's being mass produced and used in the area of the Sith, and it's supposed to interfere with their programming. So, well, me and the Doug, we go out, we start exploring the area, we get the feel for what the grounds are outside of the academy. Then we head to the cantina. There, or the mess hall, whatever you want to call it. There we witness a couple of Sith bullying another Sith. And then after they finish bullying him, the Doug picks the leader to attack the second person that was bullying the other guy. And then once he kills the second person, he uses his mind control to do all this. Once he kills the second person, he never orders him to stop, so he just keeps punching the ground until he pretty much destroys his arms and bleeds to death. That gives him a couple of dark side points, and B, access to become one of the Sith trainees. I, on the other hand, end up in the cargo-ish area, or the slave holding quarters or transport area. I'm not sure which. I know it was one of those areas outside of the cantina. So I witness a Wookiee getting free and about to attack a guard. So I use my move object on the Wookiee and throw him straight into the ceiling, and then throw him straight on the ground, killing him instantly. Whoopsie. And I gain a dark side point for that. And then with a little bit of talking, I get a emblem to get access to the academy. Our Wookiee stays on the ship because Wookiees on this planet are considered slaves, and he needs to, if he's going to walk around, he needs to have one of those slave collars on. And then our two other Jedi, my apprentice and the sand person, are leaning towards the good side so much that they didn't want to leave the ship, which is what we left them there for. So what they do in the meantime is they convince the slave that I own, that we got from the previous hut, not the hut that I was talking about that we just made the dealing with, but the hut before that. The slave that I own, they ask him to go fulfill the mission for them to upload the data. Surprisingly, he agrees, and they give him enough stealth stuff that he goes out and he does it. And he is successful at it. So with that, we have achieved one of our two missions, and that mission was more secondary to our primary mission, but it's fulfilled. So hey, I'm not going to argue. After the slave comes back, they move the ship, and that is, well, slave returns to the ship. I don't think they moved the ship that game. But that's roughly where it ended that game. I think there might have been some dealings inside the academy that me and the Doug did, but I don't remember them for this recap. I might have wrote them down on the next recap. So, look forward to the next recap. Well, until we all meet again, may the Force be with you.